Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
Probably for comfort. Welcome in, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, as you heard. Live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're out here at Curly's Pub right there, overlooking the water. It is a gorgeous view. Great food, great drink specials as well. Come hang out with us here until 7 o'clock. Thanks to Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, 100 calories. It's got no bubbles and just deliciousness. And they're only $5 out here until 7 o'clock. We got Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea t-shirts, can koozies, hats. We got fan relief pitcher t-shirts, got pop sockets for the fan, got stress balls, the whole deal out here at Curly's Pub in Pewaukee. Would love to see you out here. Tommy Wirtz will be out here 5:30 to 7 doing the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. So you're kind of like, man, where are we going for dinner tonight? It's Friday night. Let's go out. Let's have some pizza. Or let's go have some good food somewhere. Curly's Pub in Pewaukee. Make the drive. It's worth it. And we can come out and talk some Packers, talk some Brewers, whatever the case may be. Coming up here in the 3 o'clock hour, Charlie Sounds today come up at 3:40. We did have a development in that last segment with Ryan Wood while he was talking. Locked in Steve Berline, former NFL quarterback. Played for the Cowboys, played for the Panthers, now does Cowboys games for Compass Media. So he'll join us coming up at 4 o'clock and give us his thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys and what the Packers can expect going into this thing, plus his thoughts on Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons, all that. So looking forward to talking to Steve Berline of Compass Media, former NFL quarterback, Super Bowl champion, I believe, coming up at 4 o'clock. I want to talk about this Josh Jacobs versus Jordan Love thing. And Charlie, you have a clip of everybody's favorite Chris Broussard on FS1 talking about this game and how big it is probably for Jordan Love. The thing that cracks me up about this is we're being completely honest, right? So when we used to do the big show, the Wendy's Big Show, and it was Gary Ellerson and it was Leroy Butler and it was myself, we'd always hear this. You're football players. Just stick to talking football. Don't talk about baseball or basketball. You don't know anything. Talk about football and just stay there. All the freaking time I'd hear that. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's like, dude, these guys watch the NFL. They watch Major League Baseball. They watch NBA. They're athletes. They've played all of these sports. They got an idea. Let them talk about whatever they want to talk about. And they get put into these categories, boxes where they're not allowed to talk about anything else because some people don't want to hear it. They only want to hear what they played in the NFL, what they played in their pro sport. And now we have Chris Broussard. Well, where did Chris Broussard come from? Chris Broussard is a guy that made his money being an NBA insider. That's where he made his money on ESPN. Maybe I'm wrong, but does everybody rip Broussard every time he talks about anything outside of the NBA? Tell him, dude, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. They should. You do the same thing to all these former pro players, right? If Richard Sherman's talking about something other than the NFL, he gets lambasted. All of these guys hear about it if they talk about anything outside of their sport. So why Broussard doesn't get that same flack is beyond me. But Broussard talked about the Packers on FS1.
Do you think all these issues guarantees that Jordan Love has a huge game?
Those issues plus that he's a very good quarterback.
He's your preseason MVP.
He was my preseason MVP. It's not looking great. He's still a shot, but it's early. Yeah, but he's but yeah, look, I think Jordan's gonna go in there and have a big game. He hasn't thrown for 300. I know you did this with Rodgers, but he hasn't thrown for 300 yards since week 4 of last season.
Interesting.
So he now, of course, the last time he played the Cowboys, he was huge in that playoff game, threw almost 303 touchdowns. But yeah, the Cowboys have become like a QB stimulus package. I mean, everybody's pick me up. That's what they are. I mean, Caleb struck. Is he improving? Is he not? 4 touchdowns, 142 passer rating. Russell Wilson,
that's the worst one.
Yeah, I mean, we actually thought Russ might be back. Like Russ looked great 450 yards almost. So, yeah, I think Jordan is going to go in there. I think especially coming off
a bunch of yards against them. They played 3 games.
Oh my
It was
God.
I forgot. No, I forgot.
It was a warm up.
I'm sorry. It was
He ran well,
week
though.
one,
week
Thursday.
one.
But
Yeah,
you are right. They didn't.
Yeah,
This is the thing from Chris Broussard. I like the quarterback stimulus package when talking about the Dallas Cowboys. I think that was kind of funny and made a lot of sense. But when we talk about Jordan Love not throwing for over 300 yards since what, last week in week 4? Is that what he said?
Yep.
I don't care. I don't care if he doesn't throw for 300 yards. I'll be honest with you. It does not matter. And I know it matters to a lot of people because he's making $50-some million. So he's got to throw for 300 yards. He's got to throw for 3 or 4 touchdown passes every week. He's got to lead the league in touchdowns. He's got to be among the league leaders in yards thrown and don't throw a lot of interceptions either. And all the stuff that goes into this. I understand because of the amount of money he's making, that's the deal. But that is not the way this offense is built and constructed by Matt LaFleur of the Green Bay Packers. That's just not how this works. This offense is constructed to use the ground game, to set up the play action, to make your big plays. And Jordan Love is going to take his shots. Sometimes it'll be interceptions. Other times, they're going to be huge plays. Coming into this last game against Cleveland, his average throw was 12 yards in the air. And against Cleveland, it was less than 2, right? So now, is that an outlier, Cleveland? Or is that, oh my God, every week he's going to throw for less than 2 yards in the air. Oh my God, the season's over. Jordan Love's horrible. Trade him. Because some of y'all act stupid like that. If we're being honest, that's what some of y'all sound like after one game. So that is, to me, something that I'm not too concerned about when it comes to Jordan Love. Jordan Love's going to be fine. They're going to score a lot of points this week, whether it's Jordan Love throwing it, whether it's the defense getting a couple scores, maybe the special teams get a score and, kind of get a revive from getting ripped this last week and Bisaccia getting ripped. Maybe they get a big play and get a punt return or a kick return or something out of this. That could be fun. But I really don't care about the Jordan Love 300-yard thing. All I want is winning. That's all I care about. Just win the damn football game. If you throw for 220 and have 3 touchdown passes and no interceptions, that's good. I'm happy. Do more of that. If your completion percentage is like 70%, I'm good. Let's move on. Who cares about 300 yards, right? This is not a run and shoot offense where we're spreading 4 guys, 5 guys wide, setting everybody out, and he's throwing the ball 40, 45 times a game. That is not the style of offense that Matt LaFleur is asking him to play, nor is that the style of offense I want him to play going into this thing. So the question is, what's more important? A great performance by Jacobs or by Love? Nicolay Law, fan, talk and text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. You can also tweet us, Facebook us at The Fan Milwaukee. Sound off, record a voice message right there on that Odyssey app, AUDACY. Who's in need of a bigger game here? Is it Love or is it Jacobs? For me, it's Josh Jacobs. And it's not even about Josh Jacobs, as we talked to with Ryan Wood about. It's about this offensive line doing their job, because for 3 weeks, they have not done a good job at all run blocking and doing their job. And now with your third string right tackle now that you're going to have to play because Belton and Tom are both out, that's going to make things even more difficult. And then Jordan Morgan at left guard. Elton Jenkins, can he play possibly worse than last week? God, I hope not. So all of these guys, Sean Ryan didn't play well. All of these guys have to play better against Dallas. Josh Jacobs getting, $120, $125 on the ground, 1 or 2 big runs. I think that makes everybody feel better about this offense going forward. Versus if we come out of this and Love has a good game, Packers win, and Jacobs averages less than 3 yards a carry again, there's still going to be a red flag to talk about in the bye week about, dude, like this defense isn't very good. How did you not work? How are you not able to run the football against Dallas? I get Cleveland. Fine. I understand. I get Detroit. Okay. Washington put money in their defensive line. I'll understand that. But this one, I'm not going to understand. He needs to have a game. It's more important from the psyche of this offense and everybody else going into a bye week that this ground game figures itself out in Dallas against the Cowboys Sunday night, Charlie.
I don't know if I agree with you 100% there, Sparky. I think when you look at this run game, you talked about it. This offensive line is not healthy. It's not a group that I have a lot of high expectations going into this game with. So because of that, I think I don't have that high of expectations for Josh Jacobs either, and it's not to the fault of Josh Jacobs. I think right now, looking at what Josh Jacobs has done throughout his career, and then just last year with the Green Bay Packers, he's proven he can be that bell cow type of running back. He's proven that he can, if given the right pieces around him, be a consistent 100-yard-a-game guy, it feels like. With Jordan Love, it doesn't feel like we've had that yet, and this is a perfect game where they can use his ability to get the ball out fast and read a defense quickly, which we know he can do, and showcase that and prove that he can be that leader to step up when the run game is struggling, which I just don't feel like we have seen up to this point. And I think with Jordan Love, what you want is a Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia, and that same kind of system that Philadelphia runs. And what Jalen Hurts does so well is be consistent when he needs to. When he is called upon, when his number is called upon late in games, he is a guy who steps up every time. You never have to worry about Jalen Hurts. You just don't need him all the time. And I think the Packers want to kind of emulate that in Green Bay. Just when it has come time to call upon a Jordan Love, you've seen mixed things happen. He throws an interception, but then he also drives the team down the field literally the next drive. Those are two very big different sides of Jordan Love that can't happen. You need to see the side where he just drives them down the field every single time when he needs to.
He's Charlie Houston, C. Sparky Fifer, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Curly's Pub out here in Pewaukee. Beautiful view of the water. Great food, great drink specials, including Sun Cruiser vodka iced teas for $5, 100 calories, no bubbles, just deliciousness. Come on out here, take advantage of that till 7 o'clock. We'll be out here doing Wisconsin Sports Daily, extended version of the show today, up to 5:30. That's the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, from 5:30 to 7 o'clock. The question is simple. What's more important, a great performance by Jacobs or by Jordan Love? 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. You can also tweet us, Facebook us as well, at The Fan Milwaukee. When we talk about this Packers offensive line going forward, Kenny Clark is going to obviously be a guy in this game that is going to be critical to what the Packers are able to do, whether it's running the football or throwing the football, right? So if you're going into this game and you're Matt LaFleur and this Packers coaching staff, how are we scheming this game plan up to attack this Dallas defense? Are we running right at Kenny Clark to try and challenge him, have a couple guys double team him up, whatever the case may be? Are we running to the edges and playing the outside, not even bothering trying to run through the middle? Me personally, I'm going to run right at him. Let's see what you can do. And if he ends up being able to beat Elton Jenkins or beat Jordan Morgan regularly or whatever the case may be, then fine. Then we can adjust and we can start playing on the edges a little bit. But I think to start the game, I'm running right at him, and let's see what happens.
I think that to start, yes, you run right at him, you see what happens. But I think you only do that to lull them to sleep, like the Chicago Bears did last week against the Dallas Cowboys, where they did a very simple kind of style of drives for the first couple of series and then opened it up with crazy plays where they were doing flea flickers back to Caleb Williams and he was throwing touchdowns to Luther Burden, which is not something that I think the Packers need to do. I think they're a much more talented offense. I think they're a much more well-coached offense at this point and shouldn't have to do that. But I think you can run right into them and set it up for play action passes like you want to do with a Tucker Kraft, or set up plays where you get Matthew Golden that touchdown that he should have had last week and try to get him that little bit of change back here with the Green Bay Packers against a defense that is struggling. I think this is a moment where you use Josh Jacobs more as a distraction than as that bell cow and try to get the Cowboys to circle in on him because their defense is so weak and focus on that and then lull them right out of the game that way too.
That's the other thing that we talk about, that is, how we go about attacking the Dallas Cowboys. You bring up the idea of lulling them to sleep. What if they just came out and went play action and went on top? Just right off the bat, play action, go on top to Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden is coming home, folks. I mean, all this talk about Micah Parsons coming back to play the Cowboys. Matthew Golden is from that area. That's where he grew up. That's where he played his high school ball. You want to talk for fantasy football purposes, and we will with Joe Bartel at 420 when we do fantasy football, as we do every Friday with Joe Bartel of RotoWire. Matthew Golden, to me, that's a must play in fantasy. I know he hasn't been all that great in fantasy, but I really will be truly surprised if the first-round draft pick of the Packers does not go out and have a big game. I'd be truly surprised if Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur aren't looking at him and going, all right, this is going to be his game. Whether it's getting him the ball early on, right? Bubble screens out to the wide receiver, jet sweeps, little crossing routes, right? A little slant here, catch the ball and go, that type of stuff. And then later you start throwing deep to him, down the middle of the field or down the sidelines. That is kind of how I would want to do it. That's why I say, maybe it's crazy, but a play like Josh Jacobs and go on top to Matthew Golden, play one to try and blow the roof off that place and shut everybody up would make a lot of sense, Charlie.
It would. But also if the Cowboys are smart, which I don't know if they are smart, they would look at how
Eberflus is the defensive coordinator.
Right, exactly. So I don't know how smart they really are in this situation.
Yep.
But I would say, you know what? I'm looking at this Packers team and how frustrated they have been with that run game. And if I'm Eberflus, I'm saying, you know what? I think they are going to expect us to key in on that because we think that they're frustrated with how their run game is going. And then Matt LaFleur is going to plan on trying to get the ball to Matthew Golden more, trying to get the ball through the air on these quick passes like we're talking about to a Tucker Kraft and let these guys make something happen in the open field. If the Cowboys were smart, they'd try to predict that, and they would see what happened last week with Matthew Golden versus Cleveland, his uptick in snaps and his uptick in targets as well, and just the type of routes that were designed for a Matthew Golden, not as the second option, but as that first option, that first read for a Jordan Love, and say, you know what, we should probably expect that against us since our defensive backs have been so weak. And you know what? We'll let them get their ground game back. We'll let them run for 5 yards consistently. What we can't do is give up the big plays that we were giving up against Chicago. And I think if they are right about that and the Packers do go in with this game plan of trying to force feed a Matthew Golden more so or a Tucker Kraft, that it could catch them off guard. And you may have a certain situation to last week if the Cowboys game plan this right. Now, I don't think the Cowboys are going to game plan this right. That's the only thing.
That's correct. I don't think so either. We'll talk about the game after the game. Green Bay football post-game show powered by the Fan. Steve Sparky Fifer. That would be me. Tommy Wirtz. He's the other guy. And we'll do it after the game. We'll go inside the locker room. We'll hear from Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love, Ryan Wood, the Green Bay Press Gazette, who joined us in the last hour. He comes on after every game on the post-game show as well. It's a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. I'm guessing we're on the air like 10:30, quarter to 11, somewhere in that area on Sunday night. Tomorrow, however, big plans. Big plans tomorrow. Join Charlie Hughes and Jack Pembroke and myself as we broadcast live from the Milwaukee area Napa Car Care Fair. That's tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. First 50 cars receive a coupon for a free oil change. Win prizes like a new set of hand-cooked tires, gift cards, movie baskets, and more. Plus, everybody's favorite topic, free hot dogs from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. tomorrow at the Milwaukee area Napa Car Care Fair. Free vehicle inspections all day long. The Car Care Fair is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Napa Auto Parts Store on Highway 100 in Greenfield. Again, that's tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. For more details, go to thefanmilwaukee.com. It is my first time on Wisconsin Sports Weekend with Charlie Usen and the Peacock, Jack Pembroke. Looking forward to seeing if I survive that experience for 2 hours. I'll be there to 11. Then I'm on my way to Louis' Last Regatta, the big sailboat race that they have. I think we got 50 or so boats in the race. It all ends at the South Shore Yacht Club tomorrow night. I'll be emceeing. My buddy DJ GA will be the DJ on site. That brings a smile to Charlie's face. I love GA.
I love GA too.
We'll be out there doing that. Post-race party. Everybody's invited. You don't have to race to come out, right? You can come and hang out no matter what. Got the DJ going. We'll have a dance party going on. These guys and girls get dressed up in costumes on their boat. So there's a costume contest, all kinds of raffle baskets. There's a silent auction as well with a bunch of cool getaway trips and stuff that you can get in on as not silent auction, regular auction, I guess, that you can get in on as well. So come hang out with us at Louis' Last Regatta. Post-race celebration goes from 3 till 7 o'clock tomorrow night at the South Shore Yacht Club. If you're in the area, come hang out with us, and it'll be a lot of fun. All right, take a quick time out. Come back on the other side. And before we get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day, there was a topic that happened today on 9 to noon with John Kuhn involving Rami Makloff and Brandon Snide. And they got into a conversation where I ended up putting up as a poll question at Sparky Radio. And the question is this: how many years of Packer playoff appearances would you sacrifice for a Brewers guaranteed World Series victory this year? Meaning Tell you what, if I guarantee you a Brewers World Series this year, would you give up the next 3 years of the Packers not making the playoffs? I'm not telling you how bad they're going to be. I'm just saying they're not going to be there. They're not going to be in the playoffs, right? So there's a poll question up right now at Sparky Radio and at 9 to noon as well. We'll tell you about that, and I'll give you my thoughts. Charlie will give his thoughts straight ahead. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from Curly's Pub in Pewaukee. Come on out, hang out with us. Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. The reason we're out here, made with real iced tea, real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink with no bubbles to fill you up. It's a perfect game day sipper. Plus, each Sun Cruiser is only 100 calories and 4.5% alcohol, making it perfect for anywhere you watch your watch party takes you. Crack one open today and let the good times cruise Milwaukee. And again, $5 for those Sun Cruiser Vodka iced teas today. They are delicious. Once you have one, you'll quickly want to have another one. So definitely want to step out here, hang out with us. 5:30 to 7. Our guy Tommy Wirtz, big old hunk of love. He'll be out here this afternoon with the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, getting ready for Brewers and Reds tonight at American Family Field. You hear from Pat Murphy, hear from players before the game, get you the starting lineups, all that fun stuff. So definitely want to stay tuned for that. Before we get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day coming up in the next segment, we have a jam-packed 4 o'clock hour. Steve Berline, who's an analyst for the Cowboys on Compass Media, former NFL quarterback with the Panthers, the Cowboys, and so forth. Had a great career. We'll talk to Steve Berline coming up at 4 o'clock and his thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys. Joe Bartel, RotoWire Fantasy Sports, Fantasy Football Friday at 4:20. Then a brand new segment called Follow the Money. Austin Herdania, Potawatomi Sportsbook manager, joins us coming up at 4:40. He'll join us every Football Friday at 4:40 going forward for this brand new segment. And what it's going to be is he's going to tell us where the most money is at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, right? So who's betting the spread the most in the different NFL games? Which one, are the Packers -7 the most popular bet right now at the Potawatomi Sportsbook? Is it the Cowboys +7 like Ryan Horvath is saying you're supposed to do from BetMGM? So we'll talk to him coming up about that at 4:40. Before we get to that, earlier today, John Kuhn, our guy, Rami Makloff, Brandon Snide on 9 to noon with Kuhn here on The Fan. We're having a conversation about, all right, how much would you give up to see the Brewers win a World Series? And John Kuhn said he wouldn't give up any Packer seasons for the Brewers to win a World Series. He doesn't want to be given a free ride. He doesn't want to have a free ticket for the Brewers to win a World Series. And he's certainly not sacrificing any type of Packer playoff possibilities and watching bad football with the Green Bay Packers, for the Brewers to get a free ticket to the World Series. He's willing to give up no years to get this thing done at the end of the day. And I'm listening to this, and I am about ready to lose my mind. And again, this is a situation to where he and I are going to be different on this. Why are we going to be different on this? Because I'm a fan and I'm not necessarily a former Packer player. That's number one. Number two, I've lived here all my life and have rooted for the Brewers and have never seen the Brewers win a World Series ever. I've never, ever seen it, nor has anybody else. So I went on Twitter and I said, okay, I'm going to post this on Twitter. So at Sparky Radio or at 9 to noon, John's account, 9 to noon is asking on the Fan Milwaukee, how many years would you sacrifice of the Packers going to the playoffs in exchange for the Brewers winning their first World Series? Right? Here are your options. 0, that's what John Kuhn picked. 3 to 5 years of no Packer playoff games, but the Brewers get a World Series victory. Or 5 or more years of no Packer playoff games, but the Brewers win the World Series. How many times on this show, Charlie Houston, have I said, I just want to see it before I'm dead? That's all I've got, right? I mean, I'm 50 next year, man. Time's running out. So we got to get this done here quickly. So if you're going to come to me and say, hey, Sparky, what's your answer? I literally was at my desk listening to the radio. I texted Rami Makloff and said, a decade. That's what I give up. Give me a decade of crappy Packer football in exchange for a Brewers World Series. I'd do it every single day of the week, not even thinking twice about it, don't care. So then John Kuhn was just besides himself. Oh, he must not think the Packers are that good then. Oh, my God. So then I had to walk down to the studio and go on the air and tell John, I was like, this has nothing to do with the Packers whatsoever. This is everything about the Brewers. I watched the Packers be crap for a majority of the time I was growing up until Ron Wolf got here, right? I lived through that. I watched all those years. I watched the Brewers not be in the playoffs for 26 years, 11 straight years of not even being 500. Lived through that, still here. The Bucks were god-awful for a good portion of my time as well. Lived through that. 15-win season. I'm sitting here doing post-game shows on the Fan after every game. 15 wins out of 82 games, dude.
That's brutal.
I lived, right, brutal. I survived that, right? I got through that. And then we get Giannis. Didn't see that one coming. Never thought I'd see a Bucks win a championship. That happened. So, yeah, I'm willing to give up crap years for the Packers in exchange for a World Series title for the Brewers. And then after that, I'm good. Tommy Wirtz and I were talking off the air about, oh, man, I'd give up it. Tommy's like, I'd give up anything to have the Badgers football team win a championship. Okay. I mean, sure. Yeah, I'm in. I do the same thing. But realistically, to me, this is about the Brewers. That's where the topic was. So that's where I want to keep the topic one way or the other. Before I get Charlie's take and your take, again, hop aboard Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text on. You can text in your answer. You don't have to go on Twitter. Maybe not everybody's on Twitter. I get it. 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Tweet us at the Fan Milwaukee as well. Speaking of the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line, our guy Ram on the north side is there. Ram, what's your answer to the question? How many years would you sacrifice to the Packers going to the playoffs in exchange for the Brewers winning their first World Series title?
0.
Come on, man.
0. I'm going to tell you why. Everything that you said, I'm a little older than you. I've seen it. But I did go to a Brewer World Series game in 82, even though they lost to the Cardinals. Yeah. I was at the airport when the Bucks won championship in 71, and I got the banner still here. So, in those lean years, all my high school years, the Packers were under 500 when Bart Starr was coaching. And I remember Forrest Gregg and all that. But I'm going to say, the reason being I'm going to say this is, from what I see, it's all about management. In those years, they just didn't have it in management until Ron Wolf came, of course. He turned everything around. I mean, and when you look at the Packers, technically before Jordan Love, we only had two quarterbacks for 25 years?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So Wayne Embry was with the Bucks when they won. Then we had a 25-year horrible run with Herb Cole and some other people. But when you change management and coaches, that changed. So I think to a certain degree, like what Gary Ellis needs to say about Wisconsin sports, this is like we seem like we're just good enough with winning. We win the conference title, we're good.
Yeah,
we're gonna work on next year. That's what it seemed like. And when you look at the type of athletes, but now when we get these aggressive people like the Brewer guy got now, hopefully with the Bucks, I think Doc really wants to change it around because they do know. I'm going to say that the Brewers are going to make it to the World Series this year. I just feel this way. I'm not saying they're going to win it. I told you that before. I think this team right now, with the way they play, and without being a small market, playing old school baseball, I think they can win it all, Sparky. Ride with me on that, man.
Well, I'm all in.
Ride with me on that.
I'm all in. I'm just saying, if you're giving me a guarantee that the Brewers are winning a World Series, and all I got to do is say Packers are going to suck for 5 years or 3 years or whatever, I'm making that deal. Call the deal with the devil, whatever you want to call it, whoever's hand I got to shake to get that deal done, Ram. I'm making that deal. Ram, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend, as to everybody else listening as well. Man, this close-up of Charlie's face right now is something else right there on YouTube. Hi, Charlie. Boy, you are looking good with that mustache.
I got it back zoomed out like a pro.
Yeah, you do.
You and Mitch got to learn the tactics.
Yeah, I'm going to learn the tactic. I'm going to buy new cameras that don't zoom. That's going to be my tactic. That's how I'm going to fix it there, Charlie.
Plan, yeah.
Yes, that's how I'm going to fix it. I'm too old to be dealing with this stuff. Charlie, tell me, what do you say? And again, this is horrible because, he don't care about the damn Packers. He's a Bears fan. So he's already said that. He's also already said, being Chicago Charlie as he is, from Brookfield, Wisconsin, played at Brookfield Central, that Brewers games he went to growing up, so he roots for the Brewers. Bucks games, he went to Bucks games growing up, so he roots for the Bucks. It's just the Packer-Bear thing he struggles with, like Romney Makloff on 9 to Noon with Kuhn. But even Romney Makloff said he'd give up 3 to 5 years of the Packers to get the Brewers a World Series title. He would do it in a heartbeat. To me, it's, whatever you want me to give up as far as my teams being horrible for however long, I'm totally 1,000% in. I think a Brewers World Series celebration will dwarf what the Bucks did. That's how big a deal it is, because you're going to have everybody from the freaking state coming in.
Yeah, I mean, even when the Bucks won that NBA championship, I mean, I was down at Deer District during that game, and it felt like the entire state of Wisconsin was all standing there, all ready to celebrate when they won. I mean, the entire city just felt like they were jubilated. Like, it was crazy how
Jubilated.
just
Good
the
word.
vibe that was around the city during that time. It was really cool to be a part of. Yeah, I think the Brewers would be bigger than that. Obviously, yeah, I'd give up like 50 years of Packers playoff contention. You know, if I'm at a Brewers World Series, that'd be fine with me. I'd be fine if the Packers were in the playoffs for like 50 years. The Bears have a better shot. Realistically,
50? Did you say
yeah,
50?
50. Yeah, that's okay. That's fine with me.
I don't think I want to sit by you when we're out at the Napa Car Care Fair tomorrow on Highway 100. But
Peacock
first
could be in
time I'll be in
between
the
us, that's
public,
fine.
you make this comment to everybody. Good God Almighty.
Realistically, though, I think it would be like probably in the same range as Rami, like 3 to 5 years. I think the Packers' the success that I've seen throughout my lifetime, even just the 23 years that I've been on this planet, I've still seen a Packers Super Bowl in that time. I've seen 2 Packers Super Bowls in that time. And I think that is something that shouldn't be taken for granted. And if it means that you give up 3 to 5 years to give the Brewers an opportunity to have that same kind of excitement, just like the Bucks, just like the Packers have in my lifetime, I would most definitely give up at least 3 years to see that happen.
He's Charlie using C Sparky Fifer with you. Let's have our friends over there at Wendy's. Mornings can all start to feel the same. So if you're looking for a fresh wake-up call, look no further than Wendy's breakfast. Try a breakfast baconator with fresh cracked eggs, a crispy bacon, a grilled sausage breakfast burrito, or maybe even a honey buddy. Don't even think about sleeping on Wendy's seasoned potatoes and English muffin sandwiches. Doesn't matter what you go for, it's gonna change your life. All right, well, at least freshen up your morning. Ready for a fresh wake-up call? It's got to be Wendy's. Sparky with you. Last night, I got to tell you a quick story that was pretty cool. I was at my kid's baseball practice. No, Pat Murphy was not there. He's probably got to bed early for his pancake thing that he did today. Did you see the pancake thing today that the Brewers Twitter was sending out? Murphy's tossing pancakes into this like pan, right? So it's like 1, he looks it up. Okay, goes in. 2 goes in. 3 goes in. Then the dude turns around and throws it back to the guy with the pan. Boop, money. Pop, right there.
He's at practice.
That's beautiful.
He's had
practice. It's beautiful.
He's the pancake
man. He'd be a frontline cook after this if it doesn't work out for him in Milwaukee. No, he's going to win Manager of the Year again. He'll be joking. But yeah, that was, they had, I forgot how many thousands of people that apparently showed up for this pancake type breakfast that they had going on today. So brilliant by Rick Schlesinger, brilliant by the Milwaukee Brewers. Again, when it comes to marketing, man, it's really hard to kind of outdo these guys at this point. They are on top of everything. Every time there's a way to take advantage of a shirt or a hat or whatever, they're on it, and people eat it up, man. Eat it up. Andrew Vaughn, Mizorowski, they were all over both of those guys.
It's always for the people. It doesn't feel like it's ever for the Brewers that they're doing that type of stuff. It always feels like it's stuff that the fans want, and they do a really good job at that.
They do a great job of it, no question. Coming up next, Charlie's Sounds of the Day. That's right, Charlie's Sounds of the Day coming up next. Then at 4 o'clock, Steve Berline, former Cowboy quarterback, Panther quarterback, does analyst work for Compass Media for the Dallas Cowboys. He'll join us at 4 o'clock. Fantasy Football Friday with Joe Bartel of RotoWire Fantasy Sports. Get your questions ready for him at 4:20. Every Friday he joins us. And then a new segment called Follow the Money with Austin Herdenia, Potawatomi Sportsbook manager, comes up at 4:40. Definitely going to want to tune on that because I think this is going to be a segment that people that don't know gambling that much, or even if you do, this will be a segment you're going to want to tune into every Friday at 4:40 with Austin and myself. So stay tuned for that. Speaking of Potawatomi Sportsbook, telling you, you got pro games, you got college games going on all weekend. That bad boy fills up, but that's where you want to go. 2,000 square foot center screen, man. You can watch 30 games at one time, all different types of sporting events. So you can have the Ryder Cup on, you can have college games going on, you can have baseball games going on, pro games going on, all of it right there at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Potawatomi Sportsbook Kitchen, 48 beers on tap, dozen different specialty cocktails to go along with it, brunch all day, the John Kuhn platter. Way too much food for me, but I'm sure a guy like Charlie could probably put it down. Take advantage of that. The Bison Chili, highly recommend that over there. The Potawatomi Sportsbook had that Monday night. We're down there doing trivia during Monday Night Football. So go online, reserve your seat ahead of time right now. Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. Reserve your seat today. Welcome back. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Charlie Usen back there. See Sparky Fifer here. And we have to get to Charlie's sounds of the day.
What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Fan.
All right, time for Charlie's Sounds of the Day. And let's get to Charlie. Where are we going for clip number one?
All right, first up here, we're going to head over to the Miami Dolphins locker room where Tua Tagovailoa was responding to critics like Cam Newton, where Cam Newton called out Tua Tagovailoa for his kind of falling short, I guess you could say, this season with the Miami Dolphins. Here is what Tua said in response to the criticism.
Throw an interception, and he makes $53 million. You know what I mean? Because they do. They always say that. I heard Cam Newton say it the other day.
Well, anybody can play quarterback in this league then. I mean, I want to see anybody on the streets come and play quarterback. I mean, Cam's doing his thing for sure, but you know, I think it's easier to be able to hold a clicker and talk about it that way, or talk about what someone else is doing wrong when you're not going out and having to do the same as them, right? So I think it's easy to do that. I think anybody can do that. I don't think anybody can play quarterback.
This is the thing. I don't disagree with Tua. You got guys that are washed up and done, sitting at a studio talking on TV or talking on a podcast or whatever else that did play. And in Cam Newton's spot, he played at a high level. So you can say if you're Tua, hey, man, you're old and washed up. Let's see you do better right now. The problem is he did do better when he played. So he can talk about it. Now, if Tua was going to go after Dan Orlovsky, he's got no leg to stand on because he wasn't very good in the NFL, right? He was a backup. He never really had a chance. And unfortunately, one of our old producers, Horny Dave Metcalf, will tell you that I was the biggest Dan Orlovsky fan in the world coming out of college, and then was completely wrong on how good Orlovsky was going to be in the National Football League. So I was wrong. I missed on Orlovsky. But so if Tua wanted to say that, like go after Orlovsky, okay, fine. You can say that. But you can't go after Cam. Cam was really, really good when he was in his prime. Really good. Running the football, throwing the football. He was kind of everything. He was really good. And again, was that prime long-lived? Maybe not as long-lived because of injuries and other things that went down of where that whole thing ended up with Cam Newton's career. But he put a lot of good stuff on tape. So if he's going to be critical of Tua, I don't know. I get why he's mad. All these former players have TV shows. All these former players are on the radio. All these guys are going after everybody that's on the field. And I think to a certain degree, you feel like that brotherhood that's supposed to be there with players, you kind of get betrayed by all these guys that once they get out of the locker room, now for, the money they're making are to go after everybody that's on the field. And these guys are obviously bent out of shape about it. But just everybody remember that's mad now when you're off the field. Don't take that TV job now. Don't take that radio job. Don't go and do what you're mad that they're doing to you to somebody else. Don't do that. Because Charlie, they're going to do that.
Oh, 100%. And given the opportunity, you want to stay around the sport. And like you're saying, Tua is one of the guys that responds to these guys more often than almost any other quarterback.
Right.
And if he goes out there on TV and does the same thing to young quarterbacks when he's done, I mean, you have no leg to stand on that, even if you were an all right starting quarterback at points in your career.
Absolutely right. All right, what's next?
Next up here, we're going to head over to the San Francisco 49ers locker room where defensive coordinator Robert Saleh was discussing the challenges of facing a Jacksonville offense who has an interesting way of finding things out about their opponents.
Jacksonville, this is a very young, but it's a very talented group. Liam and his staff coming from a couple of guys coming from Minnesota. They've got legally a really advanced signal stealing type system where they always find a way to put themselves in an advantageous situation. They do a great job with it. They formation you to try to find any nugget they can. So we've got to be great with our signals, and we got to be great with our communication and to combat some of the tells that we might give on the field. So They're almost elite in that regard. That whole entire tree, from Sean to Kevin O'Connell to all those guys, they all do it. So, so there's challenges. They're going to catch us in some situations where they have the advantage, and we just got to play good, sound, fundamental football and do our best to execute them.
So he said they cheat legally.
Yes.
That's what he pretty much just said.
That is
right?
what he said. Yep.
And he said Kevin O'Connell also. That would be the Vikings head coach, by the way.
Sean McVay, he brought up in that, which is the Rams head coach.
Why couldn't Matt LaFleur figure this out? Why? What's the issue? Why? Come on now. Right? If we're going to talk about trees and who knows everything, so where did he learn it? Did he learn it from McVay? Is that where this came from? He learned it from McVay. Where did he learn it from? Is this a Shanahan thing? Was Shanahan's dad the orchestrator of stealing signals back in the day, and they've passed it down along that tree? Somebody should have asked that to Matt LaFleur. Hey, by the way, your boy, Saleh, remember, he was with us last year. Remember that, right? When he got fired, he was hanging out with the Packers. He knows how they're cheating everything else. I'm assuming we're cheating too in Green Bay. Is that what's going on, right? Legally cheating. I mean, if that's the case, it is what it is. Just don't get caught, right? And I guess you can get caught if it's legal. So, well, good for them if they figured out a way. And they still stink. What does that say? Okay, what's next?
And last up here, we're going to head over to get our first take, where Ryan Clark was on there discussing what Jerry Jones wants out of Dallas versus Green Bay.
Dak Prescott is the only adult in leadership in Dallas. Okay. This isn't going to bring closure because Jerry Jones doesn't want closure. You know what Jerry Jones wants every time Micah Parsons plays against Jerry Jones? For us to talk about the fact that the Dallas Cowboys have to play Micah Parsons again. And there's a saying, right? That comparison is the thief of joy. It's also the giver of joy when the person you want to see doing bad is doing bad. This ain't going to ever be over for Micah Parsons. If Micah Parsons wins a Defensive Player of the Year, that's on Dallas.
Yeah, I don't disagree necessarily with you that it's on Dallas if he wins Defensive Player of the Year. Cowboys are the ones that gave him up. My thing is, and I talked about this earlier in the week, is will Micah Parsons play as hard as he's playing right now all season long? Because if we go back again and talk about that guy, Skip Bayless, who brought up the fact that, look, he's a great player, but he didn't play like that hard all season long every season. You would have times where he'd play that hard, but other than that, you really wouldn't get that out of Micah Parsons. That's the question. Can you have this type of play out of Micah Parsons where he is the best pass rusher in football as we speak based on numbers? He's the best player. Can we get that consistently out of Micah Parsons? That's what we're going to have to wait and find out. Coming up next, Steve Berline. Steve Berline, former NFL quarterback, played for the Cowboys, played for the Panthers, now does Cowboys games for Compass Media. We'll get to him straight ahead here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios. Steve Sparky Fifer, Charlie Usen out here at Curly's Pub in Pewaukee. Thanks to Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Steve Berline, straight ahead.